Welcome back to Speak. We're now joined by two-time Super Bowl champion and former Chiefs offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy. Welcome, Coach.
How we doing?
Doing good. Good to have you. The Chiefs are going for their third straight Super Bowl. Unprecedented. What makes this team so special?
You know what makes the team special is just the continuity of the group. Coach Reid is probably the most consistent individual that you'll ever meet in this coaching profession. You know, everything remains the same. Everything remains consistent. He has a way with people. He does a great job of organizing. The schedules remain the same. Just the amount of detail that is paid to, you know, when talking about situational football, but also how he handles and conducts his day-to-day business, you know. So there's a number of things that makes him great. But the beauty of it is it remains the same. And he has a way with players that's unbelievable. And that's why he's had the success that he's had over the years.
EB, when did you know that Patrick Mahomes would be Patrick Mahomes from the beginning?
You know what? Here's the thing. We knew Pat had some special stuff to him based upon we lived in that area because obviously it was still Big 12 football at that time. He was playing at Texas Tech. And, I mean, they would play Kansas, K-State, Missouri. So he was in that region. And so you watch, you know, from afar and watch all the special plays that he made as a player and then having an opportunity just to get to spend time with him throughout that the process with the combine, the scouting combine, and leading up to that. Pat has that it factor. I always say this, and you'll appreciate this. Pat is one of those players that you always say, hey, you know what? This is a kid who could have played with us.
Yeah.
He could have lined up in that locker room. He just has that attitude and intestinal fortitude within him because he wants to be the best. He works at it every single day. He takes work home. He's a come early, stay late type of guy. And the beauty of it is it's not the money that drives him. It's the opportunity of being labeled as the best. Yeah. And when you're surrounded with that type of person, you know, the sky's the limit.
Coach, we've watched Saquon Barkley all year long, and I know the Chiefs are a great defense. What type of impact do you think Saquon will have in the Super Bowl?
I'll say this. Kudos to the Philadelphia Eagles. Kudos to Saquon for bringing the run game back. What a hell of a job. And as a coach, I really have a hard time not giving him an opportunity to go pursue that record. You know, it's just hard just during the regular season, just being a historian and a fan of the game. But watching this kid play, not only at the collegiate level, he also did some great things with the Giants. But I would say this, they're obviously licking their wounds because they let a great player go. That kid has had a tremendous impact, not just on the Eagles team, but just the impact that he's having within the league because the run game looked like it's making its way back. And it's become something that has been very, very important because, obviously, with that type of run game, you have to be conscious of what's taking place within the box. But on top of that, have an understanding of what's taking place, all right, on the perimeter with those players. So it's helped that offense, but I'm a homer. You know? It's going to be hard for me to...
I haven't seen him be stopped. He looked like Jordan.
He's doing an outstanding job of doing the things that are required of him because he's taking what the defense is giving him. Yeah. But on top of that, I mean, they're playing great complementary football, you know, offensively and defensively with Philly. But like I said, it's hard for me to sit here and say anything negative about my Chiefs because obviously I want to see them pursue that third ring in a row.
You know, EB, you talk about the running back position is back. I don't think it ever left.
Yes.
It was always there. I think the guru, I want to throw the ball all over the lot, 4 and 5 out all the time, is what made it go away. Yeah. Opposed to understanding that we can run the football on 1st and 10, you pick up 4 yards, and now go to 2nd and 6.
Yes.
So when you're looking at Saquon Barkley, or you're looking at Jalen Hurts for that matter, of what they did the first time they were in the Super Bowl against you in Kansas City to what they're doing now, what's the difference?
The difference is, I think right now, that guy that's playing back there, no discredit to whoever has played in that position leading up to this year, okay? Saquon is a difference maker.
Yeah.
The kid does a great job of making great things happen. Now, let's also give kudos to the Philadelphia Eagles and how they've built that organization, because that team, it's been built from the interior. I mean, they got probably the biggest offensive line in the league. But on top of that, they got some athletic guys that can do it. And, I mean, they come out and they play consistent football all the time. And when you have that combination of that offensive line and that back, and then on top of that, they're still spreading it out. So they're playing with 3 wides a lot of time. They're putting the tight ends in position. So they're playing it, and they're finding a favorable box with that type of special player within that scheme. But on top of that, Jalen is also a threat to run it as well. And so it's been fun watching them guys do their deal, because they're very dangerous.
We talked at the beginning of the show about Jalen, because Jason Kelsey said that Jalen doesn't get enough credit for what he does in that offense. And Jalen is kind of one of those players that never really gets the credit for whatever reason. And he's had incredible performances. He's been an All-Pro. He's been an MVP finalist. This is his 2nd Super Bowl in 3 seasons. What is it about Jalen that we have such a hard time contextualizing him, and what does he do for that offense?
You know, I don't know why.
By the way, not we. People. We love Jalen.
I don't know why the people does not give that young man the credit that he deserves. First of all, I mean, he's shown who he was, obviously, when he played in Alabama, at the University of Alabama. But on top of that, the kid has been consistent in who he is. He's not a rah-rah guy, I guess, more than anything. A lot of people can take that for he's more of a, you know, his behavior may be more meek than anything. Jalen is one of the most competitive players that are out there. And the only thing he does, he plays consistent ball. He does a great job of managing that offense. He does a great job of being a leader of that offense. But on top of that, when he's being given an opportunity to make a play, he can make the big throw down the field. But on top of that, he's not afraid of running it. He's a hell of a player that's done an outstanding job. And he's a part of that offense. He's very, very essential to the success that they've had throughout the years.
I got one, Coach. If Mahomes wins this three-peat, his 4th title in 6 years, where do you rank him?
You know what? So I saw y'all arguing about this the other day. And so I'm currently in the process of getting back to the league, so I got to watch what I say. But it's hard for me to sit here and say anything bad about Patrick, because I've had an opportunity to work with this kid. You know, obviously it puts him up there with some of the greats. And I know sometimes it's hard for us being older to sit here and say, man, how do we compare this guy to some of the things that have been accomplished in the past? I mean, we're watching history unfold. This kid is one of the most humble individuals that you'll ever meet. But on top of that, he's a dynamic player that has a dynamic personality to bring out the best in people. So if this happens, it's going to be hard to leave him out that conversation, because he's making history. And he's still young in his career as well.
So we love Coach Prime around here also, and personally incredibly frustrated that he's not at the Dallas Cowboys. But as a Colorado alumni, I'm sure you're glad he's still there. So how has his era in Colorado been for you?
I've been fired up about him. I mean, obviously, he's brought the black and gold back to where now we're pretty much relevant again.
Oh, he for sure brought the black out of the gold. Ain't no question about that. Ain't no question about that. I went to the USC game. Thing looked like the BET Awards.
The BET Awards for sure. I was there.
But he's done a heck of a job. I mean, kudos to Rick George, the athletic director. I am Prime. Prime does a great job. I mean, he's done an outstanding job of attracting the players. Obviously, his son did a hell of a job. We got a Heisman Trophy winner in Travis Hunter. I mean, it seems like the great things are coming back to the university. And obviously, he's going to have to go through a transition here after losing his son and Travis and a few other players as well who've played in some of these bowl games over the recent days. But now it's about putting that consistent behavior on tape. And I'm fired up and excited about what's next, you know, for the future of Colorado football.
So, EB, you talked about a second ago about having the opportunity to take a look at some opportunities out there in the coaching world, in the NFL. What are you looking for in your next job stop?
I'm looking for the opportunity to work with some good people. I want to work with good people, a good organization, on top of that, just understanding that, hey, there is a grind that's to this.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not afraid of going to an organization that may want to start over.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid of going back to an organization that may be doing some great things. When it's all said and done with these jobs that we do it because we love it. The thing that you want to do, you want to put yourself in an atmosphere where you're working with great people that want to make great stories and embrace the journey of chasing the championship ring. So I want to put myself in that environment where I feel more comfortable in, whereas we're going to have that opportunity to create those stories that's going to be forever lasting. And on top of that, let's not forget this either. We're still, you know, in the process of being labeled as coaches to have impacts on young men. And so it's still about having that impact on a young man's life, helping them to grow in this profession, but on top of that, helping them become better people as well off the field.
Well, you're from New Orleans. We're going to be there next week for the Super Bowl. It's one of my favorite cities in the country.
Man, love it.
I'm very excited. We're going to eat a lot of food.
Yes.
Well, okay, Keyshawn's going to eat some sashimi.
No, I'm not. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, yes. Oysters. I'm ready. Let's go.
How excited are you that it's in your hometown and in New Orleans?
You know what? I'm always excited about the city of New Orleans having an opportunity to host the Super Bowl because first and foremost, I mean, it's a city where everybody loves to go down and enjoy themselves. Obviously, with all the music festivals that they have, the Essence, the Jazz Fest, which I grew up on, but just the food, just what you said, the food, and just the music as well, the history of jazz. And so I'm excited. You know, I'm fired up. I'm pretty sure there's probably a few players, and I'm not sure, don't quote me on this, but they may have some players that are originally from New Orleans that might be playing at home, which is always exciting. That may have an opportunity to go down there and showcase their talents. But what a great opportunity for the city to host, especially after that tragic incident that took place.
Yeah.
You got a restaurant for me down there?
Hey, bro, any restaurant that's open, you can't go wrong.
All right. I'm definitely going to get some.
Even at 4:30 a.m. in the morning, Paul.
I'm definitely going to get me some grilled oysters.
We never close. There you go, bro.
Give me some grilled oysters.
Paul's ready. Paul's been cleansing.
Oh, man, I
getting
can't.
in shape.
I'm going to get down there.
I always say this.
Hey, before we let you go, though,
yes,
EB, could you ever, if it was an opportunity to open back up in Kansas City, could you ever see yourself back with Andy?
Oh, yeah. You know, obviously, if there was an invitation to go back, and me and Coach Reid, we talk a lot.
Yeah.
We've spent a lot of time. Not only is he a great coach, but he's a great person who happens to be a role model, a father figure. But on top of that, due to the conversations that we've had over the years, if there was ever an opportunity that could present itself, yes.
He might be the nicest successful coach that I've ever met. Seriously.
The best.
Yes.
Yeah, like the nicest coach that's successful.
It's not.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because most of them coaches, like when I saw Kelsey kind of chew him out that one year in the Super Bowl.
Last year.
That was last year, huh?
Last year.
He just sat there like.
No, but just his approach, though. Just his whole approach.
Yeah.
You don't never see.
You yell at coaches too, and they just
shut up. You don't ever see.
You look like
You don't ever see a Big Red have to challenge the players. It's a different type of respect that's there.
So one thing I will say, Coach Reid does a great job of keeping his composure.
Yeah.
He's very calm. Now, here's the thing. I'll say this, because I've been fired a few times throughout my career there.
Yeah, it happens.
There is a competitive side to him, and an authoritative figure as well. But you know when you start seeing that side of him, it's like, uh-oh, better back up.
Coach Reid, don't play.
Leave the big man alone.
Big Red is fun.
Hats off to him. One of the greatest to ever do it.
And if you was my coach, I'd yell at your ass too, Paul.
We're going to be yelling at each other then.
Do it then.
Well, do it then.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.